Um, Obviously, you see, it was an emotional decision on our part, Adil, mine, Rizwan. And once you take an emotional decision, then what happens is that you're reacting as things go on. So once we decided to make it, obviously it was tough, and since we were investing our own money, it was a lot tougher. And since it wasn't a small period of time, it was like more than a year in which this process occurred. So definitely, you see, I mean, the thing is, if there is some sort of uh, outlet, you see that where you can obviously bring people in, that makes the job easier as far as release is concerned, as far as financing projects is concerned. But since that was not available, so I think using your own resources is something which is difficult. But then, after reading those articles and seeing Pakistan's image, we felt that we had no option but to pursue this path. We wanted four people from very different uh, careers or professions or lifestyles. Even though they were like from a certain economic group, we still wanted, and we wanted someone with a beard, for sure. That was very key for us. So since that was in place, and we'd met Waleed, and we'd met him before, and so we liked him, and we heard him speak, and when he agreed, it was now that we need to go forward with this, because we need to put this guy on screen. He's really going to break a lot of stereotypes. And then Tara was again another interesting character, because the fashion world is so dynamic, and that's something that you don't get to see about Pakistan. I mean, in Pakistan you get to see it, but not abroad. And with Rabia, we wanted someone who was more normal, more living a life, having a child, being married yet working. So these three people we were very lucky with. And then Mohsin, it was a very brave decision on his part, because in politics you never want to reveal yourself. You don't want to show people that things are going wrong and things are going right. So when we talked to him and he agreed, and he was like, okay, let's do this, that was also a major breakthrough for us.
And I think everyone should be very clear about one thing, that people of Pakistan did not make Pakistan a dangerous place to live. So people are as normal as anyone living in the West. So I mean, that's where we should be clear on that. Labeling Pakistanis as terrorists is just not fair, because as Nasir just mentioned, that what you see around us is basically we paying the price for being with America in the Cold War. I mean, that's what happened, because America created Taliban, and now we are in this mess because of. And I'm not saying that America is entirely responsible, but equally responsible. So I mean, that's the truth, and now everyone should wake up to that and should stop labeling us as terrorists. We feel targeted. I mean, it's very unfair.
Yeah. I think the general perception before people came to see this was that the documentary was somehow trying to show Pakistan as being a very normal, nice place to live in, and that we aren't necessarily propagating this terrorist type of environment.
Yeah.
And from that point of view, it kind of doesn't fulfill its goal if you look at that being the goal, because in the end, what happens actually is terrorist activity, and it's going on in Pakistan.
Because you see, that's the reality of
That
Pakistan.
is the reality, yeah.
But yet, what you only see is, like, what that article or what all the media coverage in the West shows is just that terrorist activity.
Yeah.
It doesn't show the life behind all that terrorist activity. Yeah. Now you have faces to the people, who die in these bomb blasts.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's why it was very consciously we did that we never talked about terrorism until the end, when Benazir Bhutto dies. Because until then life is going on, and you see these four people as very normal people you can relate to anywhere, and then such a thing happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you see, I mean, it is a normal place to live in. 95% of the time it's going to be fine. But that 5%, because of the situation we're in, that affects your life.
Sure. And the four people you mentioned, it's very interesting. You can almost see that two of them fall in the sort of very, if you like, liberal category, but not necessarily great activists. But then you've got two who are probably polarized in the sense you've got Waleed and Tara, and I'm not sure what they would think of each other. Did you get a chance to discuss with them? What does Waleed think of Tara's activities and vice versa?
That's an interesting thought, and we should have maybe asked Tara.
Well, maybe that's part two.
Yes, yes.
But the good thing about Waleed is that he's just very non-judgmental. So
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah, and throughout the documentary, he always confirms that to my mind, Islam is the perfect religion, and to his mind and to his understanding, he should be doing this. He's not labeling anyone. He's not trying to judge anyone. And that's what Islam is all about.
Sure.
He's not enforcing anything, and and I don't think even Tara, after watching Waleed in the documentary, I mean, I don't think anybody, like, he comes out as a heroic person, which he is.
Very non.
That's interesting. Would you say that he is, in a sense, the hero of the film? Is
Definitely, yeah, definitely.
because he's such a tolerant person but has
And also-
somewhat conservative views? Is that
No, not even that. Just because almost every bearded guy you've seen on television before has been trying to kill someone.
right? Right.
And this one is actually talking about peace and the essence of Islam
Okay.
and how he's practicing his life, and he's fighting for causes which are just and which involve sacrifice.
Yeah.
So that these are heroic qualities to us. Even with Waleed, like, I met a friend of his, and now that you bring it up, and he told me a very interesting thing. He said कि यार आप कुफर से नफरत करो, काफिर से नहीं. तो ये उनकी philosophy है. कि और क्योंकि कहते हैं कि if you are if somebody you feel is doing something wrong, you yet live your life in a pious way, and you show them that this is there's another alternative. And if you are inspiring enough for people are intrigued, then they will go and follow you.